There were 5 bodies aboard, all of them dead.
Dead bodies.
Yeah, they had asphyxiated. What had happened, ostensibly, they had blown a portal, and so they suffocated, due to lack of support system.
What did they look like?
Little guys, 3.5 feet.
Is it like the small cries people talk about?
They weren't like the Zeta reticuli grays. No, their eyes were different. The Zeta reticuli grays have almost insectoid eyes, These little guys had nice eyes. They were kind eyes. The 5 occupants, one of them was just under 4 feet, and he obviously was a commander because he had epaulets on his uniform. And one of the smaller ones, the 3.5 feet, also had epaulets, so he was obviously the assistant commander. The rest of them were dressed in very tight-fitting silver uniforms. And so now, characteristically, in other words, the physiognomy, they had no hair anywhere on the body. Huge eyes, an outsized head with the body, no ears, because the ears had atrophied. The nose had atrophied. The mouth was immobile, and so it wasn't like our mobile mouth, So obviously they communicated with telepathy. And
I had a high-ranking, and he's a former member of the Navy. The last thing he told me before he went out that door was, "Tim, they're real." And he described a situation under the water that they sonared an object about as big as a football field that was doing close to 200 miles an hour, and there's no fish that's big as a football field, and there sure as hell isn't anything that can do 200 miles an hour. Might get close to 40 miles an hour, and no heat signature as well. We got areas of the sightings that you see a higher report of the propensity of sightings around these deep water areas, and there's 4 or 5 of those in the ocean. We know more about the surface of the moon than we do these areas, and when you're talking several miles down, we don't have the capabilities of anyway even getting all those areas. And so
hold on one second, we about to get to the bottom of this, ladies and gentlemen. This don't make no sense whatsoever. Welcome to the Dark Waters channel, where we explore mysteries, figure out the truth, dive into politics, and anything else you want to know about. That's what we doing over here, baby. Let's go.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? The one and only James Williams, Dark Waters, and I'm back. And happy Good Friday to you. If you've been following me for a while and been listening to kind of the things that we've been talking about, then there's cults and there's other religions. And I just find it real peculiar that, the religion of UFOs decided that it was going to rear up its head. Probably at the height of what we've ever seen, the highest point we've ever seen during the Holy Week. And when you zoom out to like a 1,000-foot view, 1,000,000-foot, and when you zoom out to a 1,000,000-foot point of view, you come to realize that while simultaneously everybody's talking about the alien disclosure, and Tim Burchett is talking about the aliens, and if people understood what there was about aliens, and everybody would freak out, which I don't believe that. I'm sorry, I just don't. While all that's going on, you're getting numbers coming out about the largest number of people being baptized into the faith of Christianity, like in the history of the faith. So you have these competing roads that's being laid out in front of you. These competing tracks where these religions are racing to compete. And it's not really religion. Religion is not the accurate term for it. These priesthoods are in competition. Priesthood would be the perfect explanation for it. A priesthood. For those of you who don't understand what a priesthood is, priests serve at altars, and priests have specific duties. And so there's those who are in the priesthood of aliens. There are those who are in the priesthood of giants. There's those who are in the priesthood of Satan. Like today is Happy Baphomet Day from the Satanic Kingdom, because they're like, oh, Jesus crucified. Yay. We left Baphomet, even though the Bible tells them if Satan had known what he'd done, he would have never crucified Jesus Christ. But nonetheless, I'm not even going to go there. The point I'm making to you is we talked yesterday about psychological operations, and this alien psychological operations getting ready to go tactical. I really wish, I think some of the best videos I do, nobody watches. Like the foundational videos that I make my arguments based upon, nobody watches the damn video. So yesterday I made a foundational argumental video about the nature of psychological operations. And then while you're in the midst of the largest psychological operation, which is the UFO psychological operation, and it's getting ready to go fully tactical, where you're getting ready to go on the Project Bluebeam and all this stuff in the sky, which is already happening, which is why you're getting these footages of these things in the sky. And everybody's like, there's an alien, blah, 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 blah. And what simultaneously we know from government documents that they've been making chimeras in labs. And if you were to have a damn chimera pop up in front of you, like if a chimera was right here in the backyard with me right now, he had tentacles and a long conical shaped head and big old bulby eyeballs, I'd be like, that's a damn alien. Why would I say that? Because that's the context that I've been programmed culturally to put it in. It's why when you see the priest come out and he says, well, demons manifest as gray aliens doing exorcisms. He was like, James, did you see this? He said the demons manifest as gray aliens. Yeah. I know this. But nonetheless, I love Tim Burchett. Here's Tim Burchett. He's a brave dude. I mean, my kind of guy. I wish I could interview him. Maybe when I get my stuff together a little bit more professional looking, I'll be an opportunity to interview him. But here he is talking about said aliens.
I don't have the tinfoil hat on just yet, Congressman, but I'm wondering, kind of how you react to that, because you are connected. You're on the UFO subcommittee. I mean, I'm just wondering what you make of that. Have you heard anything like that?
Well, I'm still a member of Congress, so I can't really comment too much on what Matt said. But I will say this.
Wait, seriously? Are you being serious, or is that tongue?
I'm being 100% serious. Okay. I've been 100% serious. I've been briefed by just about every alphabet agency there is. And I'll just tell you this. If they would release the things that I've seen, you would stay up. You'd be up at night worrying about or thinking about this stuff. We just need to disclose it all. I'm sick of it. Well, I was briefed. I'll just tell you this. I was briefed last week on an issue, 2 weeks ago, and it would have set the earth on. This country would have come unglued, I think, if they would have heard all that I heard. They would demand answers. And we need to, but it's never going to get. Unfortunately, it just keeps getting covered up, and the people that know are dying or disappearing, as the case may be.
Wow.
And for the record, I'm not suicidal, and I don't take risks. So,
I'm glad you said that. I'm speechless, Congressman. We will have you back.
You should be. And I told the president, release it all. And the problem is the people that are around the president don't know and the president doesn't know the questions to ask. A few of us are going to have to get with the president and tell him what he needs to ask and where he needs to look. I mean, we're in meetings and they give addresses and tell locations of items, I'll just say. And the public has a right to know, dadgummit. It's your tax dollars.
Absolutely.
Let's get it out there.
You got my attention, Congressman. I appreciate you being as forthcoming as you have been tonight. And we look forward to having you back. Look, I know Donald Trump wants to disclose something. He hasn't done it yet, but I think he wants to be the president to do that. Tim Burchett, thank you.
He does.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. The alien disclosure is coming. And I'll tell you this. There's this concept and idea that this disclosure is going to shake the faith of people. Like it's going to shake the Christian faith. It's not. And I can tell you how I know it's not going to shake the Christian faith, because this constant bombardment of alien movies, alien TV shows, the priesthood of UFOs and aliens, the Anunnaki religion, they come in waves and it's ebbs and flows. I remember maybe 5 years ago, there was the ebb and flow of the Anunnaki, and everybody was like, Yahweh is the of the Old Testament is the evil God, and this, and it's the Anunnaki who seeded us, and blah 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 blah. And I remember people making this argument, and I was like, that's the religion of the elites. They believe that they are the seed of the fallen. Their bloodline goes back to fallen angels. Well, you don't understand. They're not angels. They aliens. Okay. That's the bloodline that they believe they are of. And for you as an individual, it doesn't matter. They believe that you should be destroyed. But we get to this point where people are so engrossed in the knowledge of, well, James, you don't know about the Palladians and the tall grays and the tall whites and the this. I mean, everybody's done read about this. Everybody's done heard about this. Then you look at the person's life who's into UFOs and aliens. I don't know if this is the stuff that people don't understand. When you really look at the individual's life whose religion or faith is UFOs and aliens, their life ain't too hot, bro. Their life ain't too hot. Just like when you look at the person whose whole life is centered around cryptids and monsters, their life ain't too damn hot, bro. The place that they live in don't look too damn good. Their condition is not good at all. And in fact, when you stare into their eyes, when you look into the windows of their soul, you're like, damn, something is missing inside your damn soul, boy. That damn thing done took a piece of your whole soul. Yeah. And in many ways, ladies and gentlemen, what you're watching and witnessing is the beginning of the battle of the ages. Well, James, what do you mean? What do you mean it's the battle of the ages? You see, there's going to be a subsect of humanity that as this disclosure happens, as these things come out, they fully embrace this and they run away from all morality. Like, there's in many people's lives, there's this trigger of morality that, hey, there might just be a God. There might just be a Jesus. So I don't necessarily want to burn in hell. So I'm going to go and I'm going to try and live a decent life. Although that's not what the Bible teaches. But in their mind, they think I could just live a decent life and I'll be okay. But when the battle of the ages starts and people become deceived, the great deception, which is the battle of the ages, when people go into that great deception, they completely fall away from everything because they're like, okay, there is no God. We were made by aliens. There's no need for me to be nice to my neighbor. There's no need for me to love my neighbor. There's no need for me to do anything. Everything I've been taught was a lie. Everything I believed was a lie. And have you ever seen a person? In fact, the better point to make is this. Have you witnessed a person go through an awakening as it pertains to things that were unknown? Like there's a phase in a great awakening that's a dark phase that nobody ever talks about. People are like, yeah, we're in a great awakening. Everybody's waking up. But people don't go through the series of the awakening itself. There's this dark, depressive period of the awakening when people come to realize that everything they told was a lie. And this is when they're coming to the understanding of knowledge of truth. You go through, you're like, man, all this stuff was a lie, blah, 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 blah. And there's this little phase that people go into. It's a dark phase. It's like you go into this dark room, close the door behind you. You're like, damn, all this stuff was a lie. The Iraq war was started. There was no weapons of mass destruction. 9/11 was an inside job. This. And it takes years for people to go through that phase and come out of it on the other side, where they understand, okay, it's a better thing that I know the truth, but it breaks the existing context of everything that they believe. And what ends up happening within that broken context is Satan comes in and sows seed and turns them into a wicked, vile, mean individual. It's why you'll have people online who are such haters because they went through the great awakening. But inside that awakening, in that dark room, Satan planted seeds and a forest grew up, and they decided to stay inside that room. Man, y'all not getting me. Let me back up and go back to the point I'm making. So as Project Bluebeam takes off, as the great deception takes off, you're going to see these people become less moral, because you're going to take the normie, who goes to the hockey game, the normie who goes to the baseball game. He don't pay no attention to none of that crap. He doesn't even let that stuff penetrate his mind, and boom, shatter everything. And if that normie doesn't have, if he's not rooted in anything of faith, this is why I say those people who are rooted in the faith of Jesus Christ will be fine. But if you take a normie who's not rooted in anything but this world, he's not rooted in anything but, hey, man, we're going to go to the basketball game. Hey, man, did you see the Dallas Cowboys play? Or did you see the New Orleans Saints play? Or did you see LeBron James dunk that baseball? Oh, man, college football starting. Go Alabama. If he's not rooted in anything other than that, boy, that individual is spiraling down a hole. That is a open vessel for wickedness to thrive in.
Are there people inside the government who are like, okay, these are angels or demons, or these are literal aliens from another planet who we are speaking to?
Okay, so the people that I know think that there's, a real phenomena that they would like to back engineer and utilize.
Real technology.
Yeah, absolutely.
Machines.
Yes,
okay.
They believe that. I have not seen. I have not seen machines or anything like that. But I have.
You have not seen.
No.
Have you talked to people who claim they have seen machines?
Yes.
Okay, and those people are. Where do those people say they've seen the machines?
Well,
inside.
I can't say that, but I can say that I've talked to them about the machines, and they have not told me where they've seen the machines.
Okay. So this, all right. So
this is. I don't know if they've seen the machines or not, or if it's an elaborate setup where they're seeing something. So that's why I like to stay away from most of the government information about the topic. And these are people that are working for the government, with the government.
Are there people inside the government who are like, okay, these are angels or demons, or these are literal aliens from another planet who we are speaking to?
Okay, so the people that I know think that there's, a real phenomena that they would like to back engineer and utilize.
Real technology.
Yeah, absolutely.
Machines.
Yes, they believe that. I have not seen machines or anything like that. But I have.
You have not seen.
No.
Have you talked to people who claim they have seen machines?
Notice, outside of JD Vance, everybody ignores the demon alien thing, and they focus on the technology. And it's amazing because, it's all right there in the Bible that there was technology given from off-world entities, from entities from different dimensions. Then when you go into the different dimensions, when you're in this 3D dimension, it's a lower dimension. Quantum physics has explained that they're higher dimensions. Hell, your realm of thoughts is a higher dimension than the one that you're walking in right now. You ever been walking around and then all of a sudden you just get hit with these negative thoughts about somebody? That means there was an invasion into your realm of thoughts. And then that invasion moves into your realm of imagination. Then you start imagining bad things happening to people. Many people who practice like sorcery and divination, they'll sit there and they'll imagine things happening to you. They'll create these imaginations. Like they'll imagine you having a heart attack, or you having a stroke, or you having an aneurysm. And they'll all get together and we're going to use our collective consciousness to imagine something happening to him. That's why the Bible says the word of God is powerful at tearing down strongholds and casting down every imagination that exalts itself against the knowledge of God. That's why the Bible tells us no weapon formed against us shall prosper, and every tongue that rises up against us in judgment thou shalt condemn. Because there are weapons formed in other realms. You can't see it. And it's amazing because if we could see into those dimensions, many people would see a damn sword of Damocles hanging over their head as they walk into the grocery store, just waiting for the opportunity to fall, waiting for them to make the right decision or the wrong decision, a circumstance that has been arranged for their destruction. I ain't preaching. I'm just keeping it real with you. This is how this thing works. Remember in Psalms 91, it says, I shall not fear the pestilence that lurketh in darkness, nor the destruction that wasteth at noonday. Yeah, the destruction that wasteth at noonday. It lets you know that destructions are a thing, but that destruction is not in this realm. It lets you know that pestilences are things, and that you know that terrors are things. You know what? Let me ask you a question, ladies and gentlemen. If you were laying in your bed at night and a gray bobble-headed alien appeared in your bedroom in a corner, what emotion would you describe you're having? Would it be frightening, or would it be a terrorist? Would it be a terror that you feel by what you see? And I'm just keeping it real with you, dog. The Bible explains it all to you. It's just that most people have never been taught to actually look at it that way. What is a terror? What is a manifestation of a terror? I tell you what, if I'm sitting here and a giant ship pushes through the clouds, that is terrifying. It's a terror. I was reading one of the comments the other day. Somebody was like, man, I love your faith, but you out there with what you say. I'm not out there with what I'm saying. You just never heard somebody break it down to you like this. You never heard somebody explain it to you like this. It's outside of the existing context of how we deal with things in this world. But I'm going to tell you what. I can tell you what you're going to find out. You're going to learn today. You about to learn either the name of Jesus Christ is exalted above all other names, or it ain't. Oh, you about to learn. Because these people are forcing you into an environment where you're going to have to learn. Understand? They got shit locked up all over the place in labs. They've created these things. Period. Well, DW, what about the aliens abducting people and doing this? And then those same people will tell you the same thing. Well, we made an agreement with the Intergalactic Council to where we will sell out people and let them take certain numbers of people. Even what Matt Gaetz just said. Going back to the point, one of and I'm going to do this a little bit more often. This is one thing I'm going to take from Alex Jones. I'm going to go back and I'm going to start taking the clips of things that I said and bringing them to the future. Of interviews of the things that I said that I got from my contacts and bring them to the future. Because it's one of those things where people be like, oh, this guy don't know what he's talking about. But then you hear me 10 years ago saying boom, 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 boom. And then it's happening today. It'd be like, oh, well, maybe he does know what he's talking about. But if we just go back to when we had the caravans coming, let me go to Matt Gaetz real quick. Let's go to Matt Gaetz real quick.
That are not human, that have been discovered. And like even some of the briefings that aren't classified just need to be out in the public. I mean, I had someone come and brief me who was in a military uniform, worked for the United States Army, that was briefing me on the locations of hybrid breeding programs where captured aliens were breeding with humans to create some hybrid race that could engage in intergalactic communication. An actual uniformed member of the United States Army briefed me on that.
Non-human biologics, interracial alien mating? What the F is going on? Look, wait a second. You had whistleblowers tell you this kind of thing? Can you please unpack that?
Yeah, I had a guy who was uniformed. He was a senior enlisted with the United States Army. Came into my office in Crestview, Florida, in a non-classified setting. I had members of my staff there, and what they explained is that the military ran a very secret program where aliens that were living were enforced breeding programs with humans that had been abducted from war zones and from even the caravans of migrants. Now, again, I didn't verify this, but what the whistleblower was telling me is that there were like between 6 and 12 locations around the country where this happened. And what he wanted was a group, members of Congress, to all show up at the same time at all of these different locations so that any of those activities could not be moved. And of course, it's a physical impossibility to get members of Congress to simultaneously show up at like 8 locations at one time. And so that never occurred.
What do you mean non-human biologics? Like this?
Well, that was the testimony of David Grush before the House Oversight Committee, which I joined, and the testimony was that in crashes of craft that had been recovered by the CIA and through a special program that the CIA had for crash recovery, that it wasn't just the hard materials; it was also biologics, but that they couldn't identify a human source of those biologics.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, he started talking about the people going missing in the caravans. I got distracted for a split second, but my mind brought me back to this conversation. And he was saying people missing from caravans. It may have been another clip that I was watching, but this is where my mind, this image of him talking to this guy flashed in my head when I was about to make my point. And I said this a long time ago. I said that the Border Patrol had different names for different entities that they would encounter in that territories when they were protecting our border. And then on the other side of the border, I even pointed out places where people were encountering all kinds of crap in the caravans. From Chinese people who were trying to smuggle their pregnant women into America, to Iranian terrorists that were trying to smuggle themselves into America. And the number of people that were going missing, to the folded up clothes that were neatly founded on the border, out like right on the side of our border. All the things that are signs of people being taken by various different, what I would call chimera. And I know if you're new to this channel, you'll sit there and say, what the hell is this dude talking about? This is why I'm going to rely on those who've been with me for a long time to say, no, my man been talking about this. He's been explaining this stuff. This takes me back to what I was saying prior videos. In the middle of the night in the dark, I said, there's going to be a fake rapture. And in this fake rapture, they're going to take Muslims, Hindus. They're going to take all these different people, because there's a rapture doctrine in Christianity. They're going to they're going to try and do a rapture before a rapture, and then take all these people. That's part of what Project Blue Beam is. So immorality can be released into the body of Christ, because there's people who have this expectation that, man, I'm not going to go through the apocalypse and things that go wrong at the end times, because God's going to come back to get me. I'm not going to argue with you the reality of whether that's scriptural or not, even though it's really not. But nonetheless, there's this expectation that you're not going to go through no hard times, that you're going to be taken out of here before it gets too bad. OK, cool. Well, how do you sow the greatest seed of immorality into the body of Christ? Take everybody that's not a Christian, just have them disappear and vanish. And then you'll have people saying, well, there was a rapture and the Muslims left in a rapture and this, man, this faith stuff is no good. What's this Jesus crap? Blah, 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 blah. But see, when I talk like this, it's like I'm crazy. And people are going to say, oh, well, this dude don't know what he's talking about. He's out there. That's the problem with truth. While truth is putting his pants on, every lie is on a sprint. Pew! But people don't understand truth is an ancient. It's a living, breathing ancient. It's like the tortoise and the hare. The tortoise is an ancient. It's just going to keep on going. Boom, boom, boom. The hare going to run over here, stop, look around, run over here, stop, look around, run over here, stop, look around. Truth is an ancient. That's why it takes so long for truth to come out. That's why it's It's more profitable to be a liar. Eventually, you'll be vindicated as the tortoise of truth kind of goes like this. But truth knows there's no rush. I don't went too deep. Listen, hit the like button for me, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget tonight, 9 p.m., I'm going back into storytelling mode, sitting by the fire. I don't know how it's going to look, man. Because I don't know how it's going to turn out. That's all I can tell you. I can tell you this. I'm going to light a fire. I'm going to sit by the fire. I'm going to have a little sip of some of that, some old fashioned, and smoke a cigar, and I'm going to shoot whatever comes to mind. Whatever stories start coming out of me, and I'm going to shoot them. Boom, 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 boom. I'm going to do it on a live stream. I probably stream vertical from my phone. That way it's easier. I don't have to have no computer. I don't know how the light's going to be. You know what I'm saying? It's probably going to be dark, and then I'm already dark. So you might not really even be able to see me because there's darkness in the building, everybody darkness. But I can tell you this. I'm warming myself up to get back to adding some stories to this channel. And so this is the warm up. You know what I'm saying? And like everything else that I do, it tends to be kind of rough when I start. As I figure it out, then it gets better and it gets better and it gets better. So I can promise you, you're going to be entertained one way or the other. Because if I just tell the stories of the things that I've encountered, it'll freak you out. If I tell you the stories of the things that happened after I went on major podcasts and the incoming attacks from the spirit realm that came just from going on to that next plateau level, you do realize there's levels of influence and there's devils at levels. People don't understand this. There's demons and devils that guard gates at those levels. Nonetheless, one and only James Williams, Dog Waters, I'm out of here. Deuces.